But how cool would it be to capture it? Wow. I'm in South Haven. It's very lovely. Wish you could see that sunset. I guess I should have turned it around. I could put it back to what it was. Oh, I just saw a lightning bug. Go again. Where'd you go? I don't see it. Oh well. Oh, there's a black cat. Hi, buddy. I'm a little superstitious, so bye. I guess it's not crossing my path. Goodbye. Or it is. I don't know. I broke a mirror once in like 2007, and I was just recounting a lot of really crappy stuff that happened between 2007 and 2014. So, what is it? 7 years of bad luck? It was like exactly that. And then I met Brian, and my life completely turned around. Not like all right away, because we kind of tiptoed into our relationship, but we both had a lot of hard stuff in our past. So, sunsets, South Haven. I keep almost saying Grand Haven, so clearly there is a part of me that loves Grand Haven and South Haven, and I don't know why I make things either or. Maybe it isn't either or. I can like both. Anyway, so yeah, recounting. Having a lot of weird spiritual experiences on this bike ride. I went 6 miles one way, 6 miles back, 12 miles. Whenever I do workouts, I usually do things in groups of 12. 12 is my lucky number. Really pretty. Anyway, yeah, just was talking to myself, thinking through a lot of things. Not just to myself, really, like kind of to God, kind of to other people in my mind. People that I feel like I have unresolved business with or karma with, but where it would be kind of inappropriate to reach out to them, and it wouldn't help either of us based on where we're at now. And it's just kind of a trick that I learned back when I was in the 12-step world. I was lucky enough to not get into some of the really intense stuff that some people got into. I already did feel a little bit like they accidentally kind of changed who I was pretty intensely. Like one time a person in a meeting, their response to, "So what if this is brainwashing? I needed my brain washed." And it's like, ugh. So I look at it as, if you need 12-step meetings, like if that will help you, do it. Because it is helpful if you are in crisis. It is way better than the alternative of giving up, suicide, other toxic things, you know. But I'm very grateful for the chapter that maybe it saved me, but at the same time it created a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy loop where I ended up tolerating some intolerable things because I was using a lot of the philosophies of those places, which weren't my own, and my natural nature would have just been like, poof, blow it up, get out of that shit, you know. Like I was in some bad situations and they dragged out way longer than they would have, probably because of the philosophies of those 12-step rooms. No offense to them, but on the flip side, I worked through some really, really heavy stuff that had been like plaguing me my whole life, and so it was kind of like, you know, whatever. I'm just rambling. This bike ride was really nice. 12 miles, or maybe 14 if you include all the way back to where downtown South Haven is. I had to ride through some really giant puddles. My feet are wet. Well, not puddles, like the river flooding over the road. It was actually kind of fun. One of them I thought I was gonna fall over right at the end, and I still don't know how to get back exactly because the flooding over the road was so bad that, like, there's this neighborhood over here that it's got signs up like, well, this is not a through path, but it is a through path. They just don't want people driving through there to get around the flooding because it's like a how do you call it, like a little trailer homes, but they're like summer home trailer homes, and they're like kind of all, it's made to look like a little cute, it seems kind of like a rich person's drinking community. I don't know how to describe it, but which is weird to say right after all the things I was just thinking through with my past life in this life. I'm saying, like, the person I was with and their very, very heavy challenges that I took on to be a good person, or some other BS that I accidentally learned in 12-step rooms. Like, you do not have to stay in really unacceptable situations to be a savior for somebody. You do not have to, like, put up with things that make you miserable to be a good person. That's psychotic. It doesn't matter what they've done for you in the past. If they're being completely erratic and they're literally hurting you or even straight up abusing you, like, you do not have to stay in those situations to be a good person. You can leave and be a good person. You can leave and suggest things that might help them, and if they don't take those suggestions, or if they don't seek help, like, that is not your responsibility. Even if they threaten that they're going to do something to themselves if you leave, like, that is not your responsibility. And I'm saying that to baby 10 years ago Jess. That wasn't your responsibility. You took it on. I guess that's only, wait, oh my gosh. That was 13 years ago now that happened to me. But I was in the peak of having a year where I really dove into being a singer-songwriter. So I had tiptoed into it by the help of this same person, and, you know, had tiptoed into it. But this person, you know, saw that this was all I wanted to do with my life, which, you know, was a complete gift and blessing. So thank you. If you, this person, you know who you are, who caused me so much pain for a decade, if you are watching this, I say it to myself all the time, that I still see you as one of my angels. That you know, the way that humans are angels for each other, or the way that humans care for each other by showing up in each other's lives, even if it's with hard stuff. You changed my life for good in that regard. You set me on a path that made me realize that I was stalling, and I would have maybe stalled my whole life, or much longer, who knows. And you noticed it. You were like, this is all you talk about, this is all you want to do. You want to be a singer-songwriter, but you're not doing it. Or I wasn't doing it publicly. I was only, I mean, since like high school. Or, well, I've been writing songs since I was 3. And I had like school-ag concerts in 5th through 7th grade. But since like high school, I had like wanted to do it seriously, like a Sarah McLachlan or a Fiona Apple or a Tori Amos I have found out about later. But, like, you know, all of those people. And then this person introduced me to Amy Mann, and like, I knew that that's who I was. I knew it with every fiber of my being that that's who I was, but I wasn't doing anything about it. So I was like very immersed in musical theater at that time, like playing piano for shows, and I was just trying to figure out adult life, like how to pay my bills. So, but he was like, you know what? You need to be like finding open mics. You need to be like booking shows, doing something. Like, this is your passion. This is what you want to do. There's mosquitoes. Sorry. And I wasn't doing it, and thanks to that person that caused me more grief than one of the top 3 grief causers in my life, but also maybe helped me take myself and my creativity seriously. I don't think anything is simple. I simplify things all the time in these videos too, like, be authentic, you know, or whatever, but it's like, nothing is that simple and straightforward. Nothing is. That's why so many of us have like toxic, weird, well, not toxic, I was gonna say, I said toxic, but like complicated relationships with like family or old friends from our past, because like throughout our lives we're growing and changing. And if you grow and change throughout your life, then the only way that you can maintain the same friendships or even relationships with family is if they grow and change with you, or at least take the time to understand the ways that you've grown and changed. And you would have to, if they haven't changed much, you would have to reconcile how that feels for one of you to be a big changer and the other one to be more of a hold the ground. Like the roots of the tree versus the branches of the tree. Like, you would have to reconcile that. And you would have to develop a relationship where it's okay that exists. And maybe one person's a big talker like I am, and the other one barely talks at all. But you would still have to find a language that makes sense for the two of you. Every single person you know is a relationship with you. Every single person. So it's like, and all of those relationships are different because all of the people are different. And so who you are and how you relate to each of those people changes, or could change. I'm getting really eaten alive by mosquitoes. Anyway, I love you, South Haven. Thank you for being a nice bike ride. Cal Haven Trail, recommended. It's getting quite dark. I have a little bit more biking to do. I should probably get back to my car. Goodbye.